Good morning. My name is Mark Blackwell, and I am an English teacher. I have varied experience in teaching. First of all, educationally, I have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Purdue University. I have a master's degree in computer science from the University of Illinois. I also have a teaching English as a foreign language certificate from Broad TEFL, which is part of Cambridge. I've been teaching English for about 4 years. I've taught all levels. That would be basic, intermediate, advanced, business English, conversational English. I've taught every level and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I've also taught in person primarily, but more recently a lot of online teaching. And I love that. It's a way to reach more people and to talk to people in different countries, and I really enjoy that. My teaching style, well, number one, I'm a fan of the Socratic method. If you don't know, Socrates was one of the Greek philosophers that we all think was really good. And the Socratic method is a lot of question asking. So we ask questions. I ask questions as a teacher. Number one, so I get the answer. That's important. Number two, so the student thinks about the topic. And that's very important as well. And the answer will raise more questions. If you answer a question a certain way, I'll ask another question. If you ask a question in a different way, I ask a different question. So that is my style. And as you can probably tell from this video, a very nice guy. So my style is not, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, I'm the teacher, you listen to me. My style is very easy. If you don't know something, if you're wrong about something, that's okay. That's why I ask a lot of questions and you give a lot of answers, because that is the basic way that people learn. So, I can teach you about grammar, which I hope you already know. But if you don't, I can teach that. That's very good. Vocabulary is important. Sentence structure is important. I'm not going to talk about those right now. I'm going to talk about something in conversational English. I'm going to talk about English idioms. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. But I'm going to take that to another level. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you can practice something the wrong way 1,000 times and it's still going to be wrong. But if you practice something the right way, then that practice will lead to you doing something the right way. So I say perfect practice makes perfect. So let's talk about idioms. What is an idiom? An idiom is a common phrase which is generally understood in a certain culture, but not in other cultures. So an idiom is something which you're going to say, but the words, if you translate them, don't mean what the idiom means. So that's why practice is very important for idioms. And that's why you want to say them, listen to them, and understand them, because it will make your conversation much better. Let's get some examples of an idiom. A bitter pill. If you were in the United States and I said that to you, you would have no question what that meant. An example would be if you play soccer, let's say the World Cup is going on, so I'm talking about soccer, and somebody was kicking a goal and they fell and the kick didn't go through and they lost in sudden death. And that's a very bad thing, right? So I'm going to say that loss was a bitter pill to swallow. And what that means is that the bitter pill is, when I say something's a bitter pill, I'm saying it's a very bad thing. So if you translate bitter pill, it won't mean that. But if you look at what that idiom means, that's what it means. Another example would be an ace in the hole. I've got this ace in the hole. Teacher, how are you gonna do this class? I've got an ace in the hole. What does that mean? That means I've got something that you don't know about. It might be a secret, it might not be, but it's something that I know I can use if I need it. An example would be, so if we're teaching English, if I'm teaching English, my ace in the hole is that I'm a native speaker. That's my ace in the hole. So if someone asks me a question about what does this mean, I'm probably going to be able to answer because of my native speaking. And so an ace in the hole is something that's a secret. For instance, in sports, let's talk about soccer again. So let's say you have a World Cup team with an outstanding goalie. I mean, he can block any kick. And you're playing a game and you're like, wow, that's going to be a tough team. They got a lot of good goal scorers. You could say, I have an ace in the hole. And you know that your goalie is so good that he probably is going to block any kick. You don't say that. You don't say my goalie is great. You say, I have an ace in the hole. And you know that your ace in the hole is your goalie. So that's another example of an idiom. Let's talk about, and idioms are great for English conversation. Let's talk about something else which is good for conversation, which would be slang. What is slang? Slang is non-standard English. It's words that are used that the actual meaning of the word isn't what the slang term means. So it's hard to understand what it means, but practice, perfect practice makes perfect. So an example of some slang would be, he's my BFF. What does that mean? That's slang term. It means my best Facebook friend. I don't know what that means unless you know. So you need to practice what these terms mean. Another term, a slang term, would be, you say something to me and we gonna go to the store later? And I say, oh yeah, that's cool. What does that mean? That's cool. What it means is, that's fine with me, that's gonna be a good plan, I'll do it. Or another way to use cool would be, that guy is really cool. What does that mean? So if I'm saying a person is cool, it means that they project an image which I like. And they're doing things in a way that I would do it, or the way that I think someone should do it. So that's cool. It doesn't mean cold or colder than the average, which is what the word means. The slang term is different. Another example would be, later, dude. What does that mean, later? It means I'll see you later, or I'll talk to you later, or we'll discuss this later. But I don't say all those things. I just say later. That's slang. That's the way it works. But if I said that to someone in the U.S. and they said, I gotta go, I'm leaving, and I said later, they would automatically understand what that means. But that's slang. So perfect practice makes perfect. So I hope these examples show you a little bit about my teaching style and about things in conversation you should know. I hope to see you in the very near future. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.